Did they? Maybe they did. Maybe they had first crack at it, and maybe they were like, no. So she's like, well, I'm going to go somewhere where the doctors will let me wrestle, because somebody is going to let me wrestle. What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time, consider subscribing, join the family. Love to have you. And let's dive right in, because something gigantic happened that a lot of people didn't think would ever happen, but one person in particular believed it would happen someday, and that was actually Paige herself. For you guys who don't know, WWE's Paige, who is now AEW's Saraya, is now All Elite. And even though I am personally super excited to see her back in a ring and having allegedly or apparently, or what it seems to be, have recovered, I have to say, I wonder how WWE feels about it. Does it even matter what they feel? Probably not. But there must be a little bit of freaking disappointment, maybe a bit of resentment, sadness, some type of negative feeling towards this, because me being a wrestling fan can't help but feel a little bit of a slap in the face as a WWE fan. Now, I am just going to play devil's avocado right now, because of course we're all excited to see her back in the ring, especially if she has really recovered 100%. That is fantastic, and I wish her all the very best, because I was a huge fan of Paige. I love Paige. She's freaking awesome. But here's the thing. Now, from my understanding, and of course I could be wrong, but let's just go by what my understanding is in this situation, is that when Paige got injured originally, WWE kept her on and they bankrolled her existence, from my understanding. Could be wrong, but this is what we hear over the course of, a period of time. This is what we've heard, that WWE still looked after her, made sure she was taken care of, still kept her on the payroll until finally, which that only happened in recent times, that she was no longer getting bankrolled by WWE. But there was this long period of time that WWE bankrolled her, even after the fact, even after, years had passed, and she was still on WWE's books. The issue is that I think what's happened, and this again, it's just what we hear. We'll never know the real story unless you're actually there and part of it all. But my understanding is that she wanted to come back, and WWE's doctors were like, nah, we don't want to take the risk, which is fair enough, right? Maybe they saw something that made them feel uncomfortable about her getting back in the ring again. Now, we've seen it happen with Edge. We've seen it happen with Daniel Bryan. We've seen people come back from this neck injury that a lot of people always make seem like it's the end game. It's over, you're finito. But yet we've seen it happen, and now it looks like it's happened again with Saraya. But here's the thing. Was this because of Vince that she never was able to have that opportunity to come back to WWE? Was that even an option? Or did she just be like, was she more like, screw it, I'm just going to go to AEW? And fair enough if she just wanted to change up, do something different, see what it was like on the other side of the pond or something. But you got to ask yourself, isn't there a sense of loyalty? Isn't there a sense of that WWE should have been able to have first crack at it? And did they? Maybe they did. Maybe they had first crack at it, and maybe they were like, no. So she's like, well, I'm going to go somewhere where the doctors will let me wrestle, because somebody is going to let me wrestle, because that's what she wants to do. And then that begs to ask the question, is it responsible for another wrestling doctors? I guess doctors' opinions vary depending who you talk to. Some people, I hate to say it, but the chinga talks, and they can get things to kind of slide under the table. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm saying that if WWE's doctors, which WWE has some of the top people in the game working for them. And if they felt or saw something that was suggesting that, nah, look, we can't have her back in the ring. It's just not safe. We don't want to see her end up paralyzed for the rest of her life, which, guys, is something that can actually happen. Even if she is allegedly recovered, once you recover from an injury like that, it is never as strong and as good as it was originally. And you are more prone to have a more serious situation come out of something that might have been minor prior to that. You see what I'm saying? So is it irresponsible for her to suddenly be approved to wrestle? If that is the case, we still don't know if she has been approved to wrestle, what her role will be. But a month ago, she was talking about wanting to have a match with Britt Baker. This is something that she's already said. She wanted to go to AEW and have a match against Britt Baker. So she's been wanting to wrestle for a long time. So I can't imagine her coming back, hopping in the ring, saying this is my house and all that, and not going to be wrestling. Because you can't really talk that kind of talk if you're just going to be a manager and you're just going to be hands off. You're obviously going to be getting physical. And especially when she came in and it was all part of the Britt segment, and you saw Britt and her face, and then you go back to that month ago conversation where she was interviewed and talking about wanting to have a match with Britt, and you kind of go, well, she's obviously back to wrestle. And to me, I think there's just, I don't know, it feels a little bit possibly disrespectful to WWE in one sense, you know. But then also, if they said no, I guess it's your life. You've got to make decisions. You got to do what you want to do in your life. It's your decision. If you want to put your life in risk like that from another perspective, well, it's kind of your choice. It's your life, I guess, ultimately, whether it's a smart decision or not. And then AEW is like, hey, look, we'll take you in and we'll pay you big money, which obviously, people got to live and survive too, so Paige, but she's been making bank with her social media, different things that she's been doing. So she's not needing for cash right now, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't run her finances, but just from, again, what the information that we get fed, this is where, we can only create our own interpretation of the situation. So my thing right now, though, is that, I guess we really can't know. Ultimately, I guess you have to go with the fact that ultimately, if a doctor says, no, you shouldn't go back, and then doctors are saying, yes, what do? I guess ultimately, it's really her body, and if she wants to put herself in harm's way, it's kind of ultimately her choice, right? For better or for worse. But I wonder what you guys think. I wonder if anyone else is going to talk about this, because, you can look at this from many different perspectives and different sides of the coin. And to me, there's this kind of like, wow, I can't believe she would turn her back on WWE after all they did for her. And then there's a perspective of, but if they're not letting her wrestle, then she has the right to go somewhere else and do what she wants, because it's her life and she can do that. But then you also look at from AEW side and go, well, but are their doctors, did they really freaking, like, what is their doctors seeing that WWE's doctors are not seeing that suggests that, no, she's fine, she can go ahead and wrestle? Like, ultimately, is this really the case? It's kind of hard to believe that you would have some doctors think no, because surely WWE would have loved to have had Paige back wrestling in the ring again, right? Surely. So, especially after keeping her on for so long, it was like almost like a hope that she would get to the point where they would be able to put her back in action. Because why do you keep her on for so long and keep paying, right? Everyone's always thought of Paige as a real true WWE performer as well, like part of the family, part of the framework. So this is just all, to me, kind of, there's so many ways to look at it, but yeah, is this a slap in the face? Is this disrespectful? Is AEW being negligent with their doctors? Are their doctors just freaking kind of glossing things over so that she can give AEW a pop for a bit, a little ratings rise? Like, what is the situation? Let me know what you guys think. I think this needs to be discussed as wrestling fans. I mean, we want to know, and we should talk about stuff like this because, yeah, the positive, amazing side is obviously seeing someone that we've all loved and wanted to see wrestling again. But what is the potential negatives to this, to Paige's health, to her livelihood? I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it because, again, if she got a bag and she's got to make a living to survive, then, hey, that's good. Good for Paige, man, but are the doctors on the up and up? Is this legit? Like, what's the deal? Like, it just seems so out of left field and a shock because surely WWE would have been wanting her back. Is it because of Vince? Was Trips too late to try to get Paige back? Did he not want her back? I mean, again, is it just because of the doctors? Is it all medical? Is AEW willing to take more risk with their wrestlers than WWE is willing to take with their superstars? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe WWE is just seeing something because, look, they've had Edge come back, obviously. They had Daniel Bryan come back. So obviously their doctors know when it is good to go, everything is Gucci, and when it's not so much. What were they seeing that was different to suggest that these guys were cool, but Paige was not? Because they would have definitely wanted Paige back. What is the dealio here? I'm wondering, I'm curious. I wonder if you guys are. Has anyone else thought about this? Is any other wrestling promotion talking about this? I don't think so, at least not yet, because this has all just happened in a matter of a few hours. But I think this is going to be a topic that a lot of people are going to be discussing, because if you're following the storyline, like me and tons of other wrestling fans, you're going to be having these thoughts pop through your head. Especially if you're a diehard WWE fan, you're like, what happened? How is she not in WWE and she's in AEW? What's going on here with these doctors? What's going on here with everything? Or was she cleared and WWE was like, we're going to pass. And then she was like, cool, I'll go somewhere else. I mean, what happened? Let me know in the comments your thoughts over all of this. But I do want to congratulate Paige. If she is 100%, and I would like to really be strong in saying if she is 100%. I don't want to see her get injured again. I'm sure no one does. But if she is truly 100%, welcome back to the ring. And as a wrestling fan, I'm sure we're all excited for that. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. And as always, remember to, on the fullest, keep it off tap. Hit that subscribe button for me. Give me a thumbs up so this can get shared with other wrestling fans. I'll catch you later. All right, we out.